let's just do that entire thing over again. Hi guys, how's it going? This is Amanda from Amanda on the Globe. I'm just getting over sickness, so I hope I don't sound too bad, but it sounds a lot better than I did earlier. Today I'm really excited to talk about the pros and cons of the Australian working holiday visa. You will have to check if you can do the working holiday visa depending on what country you're from, but I know a lot of Europeans can, Americans and Canadians can all do the working holiday visa up until age 30, but they're going to change it to age 35 soon. They're supposed to do it in January, but as far as I can tell, they haven't done it yet. Anyways, let's get into this. Pros and cons of the working holiday visa. A lot of pros and cons that I've noticed doing the working holiday visa. Both of them are very strong, like there's some really good pros and there's some really good cons. So let's just get into this. Pro number one is the ability to live and work abroad without bringing a lot of savings. So if you want to go abroad and you don't have a lot of savings, all you need is about 3,500 American US dollars to come over on the working holiday visa. That's what they recommend, but as far as I know, it's not really checked. I came in on a little bit less than that, which I would really recommend having the amount that they say. The con that kind of goes with this is that it's not super easy to find work in the big cities. So I currently live in Melbourne. I am going to make an entire video about how to find work in Australia because I have found some like little tricks of how to find work that is a little bit easier than maybe what some backpackers or travelers do. But it is not easy to find work in the major cities if you don't have any help. So what I've done so far is, like, the first time I came to Melbourne, I kind of just walked around the city and asked people to hire me pretty much. Like, I walked in with my resume and I was handing it out all these places. I wouldn't recommend lying on your resume, but I definitely talked myself up and yeah, it worked out for me, but I didn't lie. Anyway, I wouldn't expect to get a job right away. The next pro is that you can travel through the country. So while you're living and working in Australia, you can make money and then use that money to travel throughout Australia, which a lot of people do. But the con on that is that it's really expensive to travel in Australia. So I don't know, I know a lot of people who come to Australia and they make a lot of money, but then they end up spending it all on travel within Australia, which to me is not an option because I'm coming here to save money to continue traveling. Another con is that it's really expensive to live in Australia, but the pro that kind of goes with that is that the wages are really, really high. So you can make your rent really easily working a casual, even part-time job. For example, when I was living in Perth, I was working at a coffee shop and basically I did absolutely nothing. Like, in my free time, all I did was look for work online because I'm a writer and I write online. So in my free time, I just spent all of my time looking for work online and I ended up saving about $3,000 after paying my rent. And I basically lived off food from the cafe that I was working at. And since I'm vegan, that really limited my options, but they did have vegan sandwiches there. But basically I lived off like vegan sandwiches that hadn't been sold for the day and loaves of bread and coffee. Like, it wasn't the healthiest diet, but I saved a lot of money. Okay, so the next pro is that Australia is an English-speaking country, so if you're coming from Canada or America, the United States, then it's gonna be really easy for you to travel here because you already speak English and everyone else does here. So that's something that a lot of people worry about when traveling, is going to a non-English speaking country, but Australia is a really good solution for that because you can come to Australia for a year on a working holiday visa. Everyone speaks English. Yeah. This con is that it's really difficult to get a good job. So when I came from California, I used to work in the wine industry in California, and I was really hoping to work in all of the major wine regions of the world in wine because that's my background. I worked in the wine industry for like 4 or 5 years and I really wanted to come here and work in wine again. Well, it's not the easiest job to get. I can get a job like picking grapes, which I don't know, maybe I will do that, but so far I haven't been able to find a job in an office or anything like that because of my visa restrictions. I can only work in one place for 6 months, and most actually career good jobs don't want someone that can only work there for 6 months. They'd rather have an Australian citizen or a permanent resident that can stay there for years. So that's a little bit annoying. So another pro of the working holiday visa is that the wages are really, really high, so you can save money really easily. Minimum wage here is $17.70 an hour, and most places will pay you a little bit more than that. So when I was working at a coffee shop in Perth, I was making like $23 an hour. It was a really high-end specialty coffee shop, and I was working 12 hours a day, so obviously you're gonna save money pretty quickly doing that. When I was working in hospitality in Melbourne, before when I was working in a restaurant, I was making $16 an hour, but it was cash in hand, so I wasn't getting taxed. All of that money was going straight to me, but the hours were terrible, so it's there's a lot of pros and cons. So the 6-month cap for a job, it makes it really difficult to find a good job, like I said. Basically, the easiest jobs to get are working hospitality, or working as an au pair or a nanny or babysitter, working in a coffee shop, working at a restaurant, just doing something really casual like that. It's not really common for backpackers to get good jobs in an office or anything, which was kind of sad for me because I actually have a strong background in wine, and I think I could really bring a lot to the table, but just with the visa it's really difficult to get into that. There is the possibility of getting sponsored, so if you were in a specialty area and you were planning, say for example I wanted to stay in Australia forever, then I could try to meet some people in the wine industry and get a job at a winery, or try to, and then there's a possibility that they could sponsor me if they really liked me, and that way I could stay in Australia. The only thing with sponsorships is that I would have to work there for 4 years until I became a permanent resident before I could move on, and I would have to stay in Australia for 9 months out of the year every year, which means I would have to basically give up a lot of travel, which I'm not currently willing to do because travel is my life. Okay, so another pro of the working holiday visa in Australia, I'm not really doing this very organized. It's really, really easy to find housing in Australia. So there's so many Facebook groups, there's so many places that you can stay. It is really expensive, but I found Airbnbs that were roughly $250 to $300 a week, which is really good. That's about the same price that you'd pay for rent sometimes. I'm currently paying $210 a week for rent, and that's actually on the lower side of rent. I got a really good deal. So anyways, that's all of my pros and cons for the Australian working holiday visa. If you guys have done the working holiday visa and you have anything to add, please let me know in the comments below. If you guys have any questions about the working holiday visa, let me know in the comments below. I would like to make an entire playlist dedicated to the working holiday visa in Australia because I get so many questions about it, and it's something that I think so many more people should know about, because not very many people that I know in America even know that we have this opportunity and that you can actually just go to Australia for a year and live there and work. That's amazing, and it's an amazing opportunity. I'd highly recommend it to anyone. Even though there are some cons, the experience of living and working abroad is just something that is so amazing, such an amazing opportunity. I don't think that anyone should pass it up. I think that it's just something that everyone should do. That's my personal opinion, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you would ever even do the working holiday visa or what. P.S. I just got a new camera, and this is the first camera that I have that has a viewfinder that I can use while filming, so if I keep looking to the side, that's why. I'm really sorry. I'll try to get better at it, but I'm really excited, I guess. Yeah, so I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any more video suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. If you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!